All right, recording is live. Awesome. And then Matt, you're getting the devs in here. Oh, we got Shadow right there. Nice. We'll bring you up, Shadow. Where we got?
All right, I brought Craig in to record the meeting again. Hopefully he doesn't drop the ball.
Don't screw
Last
it
time
up,
I
Craig.
did tell him to record, but Craig has some issues, you guys. So either be really nice or bully him. One of them will work.
Hey guys.
Welcome, Shadow. Which guys are your other devs? So we can pull them up here?
You can grab Hugh Crypto, and you can grab Eagle 69. Yeah, I mean, I'm also recording it with OBS, so I mean, if you guys, if the bot doesn't record, you can just use my recording as well.
That was the first time, probably in 10 meetings, that it's not recorded. So I don't know what the heck happened because it did record. It said it was recording. It just failed 40 minutes in.
And what's OBS?
Streamlabs.
Yeah, it's like Streamlabs. Yeah, so I just use it to record.
It's used a lot on YouTube and specifically Twitch. It's really big.
Got it.
Yeah. I mean, you guys can look at it. It's free, so it's pretty good.
Yeah, I used it when I used to stream on Twitch, and then I only had like 10 viewers at a time, and I stopped. So, welcome Shadow, welcome Hugh, and welcome Eagle to the Obsidian Council. We're stoked you guys are sitting around the table with us.
Yeah. Thanks for having us. Actually.
Yeah.
Do you guys want to? Oh, Jesse, take it away.
I was going to say, do you want to start off with just giving a really short overview of what Boundless is all about and your vision for it?
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, so Boundless is actually, in summary, right now we're gonna operate as an ohm fork. But we're gonna make some few tweaks to this kind of model. So like Titano did, we also added the sell tax, but we're not including a buy tax at all because we discussed with the community. We're very, very transparent with the community. Our aim is actually to discuss every decision made together with the community. So basically, if we want to implement a trade tax, we'll be asking the community, what do you think about this? Is a buy tax correct? Do you think a sell tax right? Then we will debate with one another until we get the majority vote on what we should implement in the protocol. So basically, Boundless is going to be more of a transparent ohm fork. We're aiming towards to becoming an actual VC, not like how Jade is doing, because we were inspired actually through most of these ohm forks having a massive treasury, but they're just sitting on top of cash and not doing anything with it. So the main reason why Boundless was created is because now we want to utilize the treasury to expand further into the ecosystem. So we were exploring ideas such as NFT collections. We got charities. We got dexes, wallets. We are prepared to build all this. The devs are ready for this as well. We have discussed with the community about it. Everyone's hyped about it. But yeah, so basically that's all about us. We're mostly trying to venture into other projects, into other investments, and also reward our investors with the rewards that the treasury earns. So basically, you won't be earning in native tokens. You can also earn in stable coins as well. So yeah, we just want to make everybody in the community earn the same amount the treasury earns, basically.
That's awesome. And you've kind of went through what is going to kind of set you apart from some of the other forks. But I think probably the biggest question people are going to have is with the whole DAO space going through a pretty tough season. What's your current plan of action to address that for launch?
Yeah, so actually, I have been discussing with the community team about this. So yeah, I agree. The market is actually really, really bad right now. A lot of rugs have been happening. The trust for DAOs have like significantly fall. Like currently, I think today Wonderland's going through a massive, massive drama right now. If you guys know about it. So our plan is with the current situation, the current community we have, we're gonna raise from what we have and people who actually believe in the project itself. Our docs are up, Medium posts are up. We do discuss a lot in the Discord when people ask questions. So yeah, right now the plan is to just launch with the current community we have. We're not focusing on a hype launch, but more of a post-launch. So what I mean by that is after we launch, we're going to be focusing our effort into actually gathering more revenue streams for the treasury, start setting up new crypto products. And as we grow the Boundless ecosystem, the price of the Bound should actually reflect on how we perform as a team. So yeah, so we're more focusing on post-launch and performance instead of a hyped launch from the start. So we want to send proof to our future investors that we're actually doing what we say we do.
And I think that's awesome. And you guys were one of the people that said you guys had actually had your launch kind of, I'm pretty sure, right? You guys had a launch plan, but you delayed it because of you felt like it was a bad time to launch currently. Is that right?
Yeah, that's correct.
And that ended up being by far a really good choice because all the other projects that ended up launching, it ended up being pretty brutal for them. So that, I mean, first amazing decision as far as that goes. I was going to ask really quick. I'm just really curious. I'm not aware of this. What is the current drama going on over at Time Wonderland?
Bro, you don't know about the drama?
No.
That's what
Ken's
joke is about in the ledger. So Ken just said, actually, the most important question that needs to be asked is your CFO a repeat offender that served time for fraud? I see that business model can get up to $1 billion in Treasury. Hashtag
definitely.
Yeah, you can answer the drama, Shadow. Feel free to answer.
Well, well, the drama is basically the treasury manager for Wonderland is actually a convicted criminal and is known for scams basically and rugging. I think he used to own like an exchange. I can send you a post. Let me send you a post. I think there's one on Reddit as well. I'll just post it. Yeah.
It was Sifu, right?
It's an interesting read.
Did this come out this morning?
Yeah, at like 4 a.m.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's why. So in my mornings, I don't check comments. I don't do anything. Like I focus on like just getting my day started because otherwise I get way off track. So that's why I haven't heard it. But that's nuts because I know there was the big drama around him and like everyone's accused him of stealing money from the Treasury. And we weren't like, but there was no like conclusive evidence. But I'd say like that changes the whole thing now that we know he's a convicted felon. How did that come out?
Someone leaked it this morning.
Someone leaked it.
The same girl on Twitter that originally leaked the initial thing, like got the actual information that he has served time in prison for exactly what he was being accused of.
Wow.
But he's also being voted out. Time is holding a vote today to replace him. So.
All right. Well, hopefully that fixes things. Sorry, I didn't want to focus on Time, but you
like, about Boundless.
It's interesting.
It's a tough time. That's why it's an interesting time to be launching because there's just drama happening in the marketplace.
Exactly.
Well, okay. So, I mean, you don't have to give us a conclusive date, but are you currently just waiting to say, hey, like, we're going to launch once we feel like it's the right time, or do you have like a specific date in mind?
Currently, our whitelist pre-sale, we have set it up to 2nd of February because we're having our peer review done. So all our contracts are going to be peer reviewed by an Olympian. If you guys are familiar with the Olympians, they're quite well known in the community for reviewing OhmFork's contract code. So basically they come on the multi-sig to make sure we don't rug and basically a third party to hold for our multi-sig and all the funds raised during this pre-sales. So yeah, 2nd of February is for the whitelist pre-sale. And then we'll be moving on for a Paladin Tier 1 audit straight after that.
Okay. Yeah, that's awesome. And as far as like the future, like big vision, like the grand vision for this project, what do you envision like 5-10 years down the line? What does this thing look like?
Well, hopefully what I envision for the Boundless is actually we drift away from the OhmFork strategy. Because just to share a bit of our post-launch plans, we're actually preparing to launch a DEX along with the Yield Farm within at least 2 months of launch. So right after launch, if everything is running smoothly, we'll be actually moving towards that kind of project, building it up, and hopefully in 2 to 3 months' time, we get it all set up. And then all the Boundless investors who actually invested beforehand will actually have some benefits and incentives to stay held so they can use this new product that we offer. So they get more benefits than other investors that come in later. So we do want to actually expand out of the OhmFork model. We want to gather more streams of revenue to the Treasury. And basically, we want to become an ecosystem of crypto products, basically.
Got it. And as far as like a swap or a DEX like that, there's like so many DEXs out there right now. So what would be your strategy for really standing apart? I know that like, I mean, pretty much like dexes have become a dime a dozen at this point. So what's the strategy behind that?
Yep, no worries. So basically, when we were going through our trade tags, like how Titano has their trade tags for buy and sells, we found out that protocols who implement tags only can get the native token back. So basically, they can't. If you're trading in, let's say, Ethereum and BUSD, they only can tax Ethereum if you were Ethereum, basically. But they can't tax the paired token that was traded for their native token. So basically, Titano receives Titano back in tax. So to be able for them to liquidate it, they have to sell it through their LP still to be able to convert it into a stable or a pair token to do anything with it, basically. So what we plan to do is when we create these dexes, we're going to try to allow other projects who actually put their liquidity on us to be able to tax in the pair token. So basically, if our token is BND, so basically, if I decide to put it on a DEX, I'm allowed to tax it in BUSD instead of BND. I hope that makes sense. So basically, we're allowing, yeah.
That totally makes sense. Yeah, that's I didn't even realize that. That's huge. And so you could like promote yourselves to like projects like Titano, projects like I mean, there's a ton of tax projects, and then they would all essentially link back to you because that would be more beneficial to them than receiving their own token back, where they have to, sell their own token in order to fund themselves, essentially.
Yeah, basically that's right.
Awesome. And do you envision other products outside of that swap?
Yeah, we do actually. I have a few of my members looking into GameFi and NFT collections because we're trying to dwell in basically in the GameFi world metaverse area. So we got a few projects that we have been talking to about metaverse project and GameFi because we're gonna release our NFT collection by basically, let's say whoever holds our NFT will get a boosted in APY, lower tax rate, qualify for airdrops. So when we talk to these other projects, they were like, you can use these NFT characters that you have currently in our game as if we become partners. So we are exploring other areas of the crypto space.
Got it. Okay. I mean, that sounds cool. Is there anything else you feel like you should add about the project that would like, I don't know, that anyone should know as far as like, I think the big thing is setting it apart, especially in this season. People are a little bit more frugal at the moment because of everything going on. And so I think where 3 months ago, everyone's like, let's jump into every project because it could take off. I think now people are like, let's really focus on the best projects and the ones that really seem to have like a clear vision and idea. And so in that idea, what else, is there anything else you want to add?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I could basically share what we have currently at the protocol and what we plan, if that's all right. So yeah, right now we have a trade tax. There's no buy tax at all. There will be a variable sell tax implemented on the protocol. So basically, it depends on how much you sell each day, and your tax rate is dependent on how much you sell each day. We have also an unstaking tax of 30%. So basically, when you start staking, there'll be a 30% tax and it will decrease over 7 days. Any interaction with the staking, unstaking, or adding to the staking will reset the timer and the tax rate. Bonding. Oh, bonding is an interesting thing I should actually share. So basically, what we're going to do with our tax income. So like I said, we only can receive our native token back. Our tax bounds will go to a separate treasury that holds these native tokens. These native tokens will actually be used through the bonding process as supply. So how it actually reduces dilution and helps reduce inflation a bit because the protocol does not have to actually mint so many tokens to provide for the bonding process, but only mint when we have no stock of basically in the bound treasury. Yep. And basically, we're separating our backing treasury from our investment treasury. So what I mean by that is the backing treasury that backs our native tokens will not be touched at all. This treasury will be placed into a DeFi protocol that earns a stable APY, not any risky ones, but we're going for more stable ones. So we want to grow our backing treasury and not let it sit there like other backing treasuries that other protocols have. So it'll be growing along with an APY, and basically it's gonna stay safe from any other investments we go into. Our investment treasury will be that's where the more action will happen. We'll be investing in launch pads, and better crypto assets, basically like strong crypto assets, and we will be taking a bit more risk in that area. The investment treasury, whatever profits is generated, will actually inject it back into the backing treasury if it's not supporting enough, or if the community votes for it as well. So yeah, we have a lot of things going on, but in general, what sets us apart is actually also how we sell our tax bonds, and also how we separate our investment treasury from the backing treasury. Because as we separate the investment treasury, whatever profits generated from there will be stable coins or other crypto assets. Then we can just slowly diverse and give it out to our investors who are long-term holders. So we're trying to actually help more people who are really invested into projects to actually earn other things other than native tokens. Because I've seen a lot of really strong investors in other protocols. They're serious about it, they're long-term holders, but they're just getting punished for holding longer because the price keeps tanking. So we're trying to find a way to reward these people in other forms of rewards in the long run, basically.
Yeah, I mean that the separate fund for the bonding sounds genius, because if you're not familiar, basically anytime a protocol bonds, typically they're having to mint new tokens in order to do that. And so that creates inflation in that project, which can drive down the price, just like if you have inflation in the US dollar or anything else. And so that would reduce inflation because they're just using tokens that were taxed back into the system rather than minting new tokens. And so,
yeah.
Yeah. I was going to ask, do you have any idea about what the APY is going to be?
Yeah, I think the last time we had a voice call, I said to you guys around like 20 to 25% for the 5-day ROI in the first week. But I think right now we're gonna decrease it to about 10 to 15% in the first week for a 5-day ROI, and stabilize it around 2 to 5% for a 5-day ROI. I think we're gonna try around there, because we're playing around with it right now, because the APY is dependent on how much the treasury can also earn. So that's why we're trying to diversify and get more revenue streams in for our treasury. So basically holders can get reward more.
Got it. And then one question I had, and I think I talked about this when we talked about our audio chat, was have you guys ever considered, given the current atmosphere around DAOs, rebranding as like outside of like Boundless DAO just being like Boundless, or like calling it something else, since you're sort of like a hybrid product rather than just a pure DAO play?
Actually, we took your advice on that, and then I think we're moving towards a decentralized capital fund right now.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah,
I was just thinking,
we took your advice. We took your advice. Yeah.
From a marketing standpoint, I feel like that'd be beneficial, because people see DAO and they think, well, all DAOs are the same, right? All DAOs are Ponzi schemes, is what everyone's thinking right now, even though that's not true. But differentiating it like that, I think will set you apart, where people are like, oh, I've never heard of this type of thing. Maybe it's an interesting thing. I'll check it out. And so, a lot of times people underestimate in the crypto space just how much marketing plays a role in a project's success. You could have like a horrible project with really good marketing, and you'll watch it like hit a like 10 billion market cap. And you could have a really great project, an amazing project with great tokenomics, great fundamentals, that just crashes because it has horrible marketing. And so that's why I was addressing that from a marketing standpoint. Matt, do you want to jump? If you guys have any questions, you can ask them in
down all the questions.
Okay. Do you want to go into ask some of those questions?
Yeah, I will. And I wanted to say, Shadow, I really appreciate you guys doing the AMA with us. All of your answers so far are solid. You guys have really done your prep, and I appreciate that. I actually am personally really thankful that you did delay the launch. I think being able to set yourself up for success and being willing to delay that launch, I think, is a good sign with your guys' project. The first question we had was from Luis. He said, how are you guys intending on ensuring a smooth launch? We've seen quite a few DAOs and some that we've been involved with specifically have really troublesome launches right at the start with the state of the market or with issues with their smart contract. How are you guys intending on ensuring a smooth launch?
Basically, right now, before we actually also, partly because we postponed the pre-sale as well, is because we wanted to get our contracts reviewed. Because some of I think Zero Shit had a problem with their liquidity, like adding to liquidity or something with their contracts, if I'm not wrong. So basically, we're getting our pre-sale contracts all peer-reviewed, making sure it's all working fine. We went through a lot of tests to make sure all scenarios are covered. So basically, we're ensuring the safety of the contract and nothing goes wrong for pre-sales. For launch itself and the protocol itself, right after the whitelist pre-sale, we'll be going for a tier 1 audit with Paladin. They'll be checking out our whole code, everything line to line, and making sure everything's all right. We'll fix all the problems. When we have fixed all the problems, only then we'll do a public offering. Then we'll move into launch. We will not offer anything to the public without the security of our code for our protocol being done, basically. So yeah, I think to have a smooth launch I think it will be pretty hard. But we have an idea set up, because right now we're not really hyped. We're not focusing on the hype market, but we're more focusing on the discussion, transparency, people who believe in the project and want to go through. The core team is just the devs and I right now, but we have actually around 20 to 18 people in our community team. They're just normal people that joined the community, want to help out. And we have around 18 to 20 of them in the community team helping us out. So when we were discussing about smooth launch, I think we thought it's best, like at the current state of our community, everyone's just chill. There's not really much hype people going on. So we think it will probably be better to have our launch like this, like unhyped at the moment, because most own forks actually launch without a product in hand. But for us to be able to develop more products, we have to launch it as well. So yeah, so it's pretty hard to talk about that actually. But yeah, it's really hard to discuss about a smooth launch. But all I can say is during our first week, we will be having a 10% sale tax standard across the board. Yeah.
Yeah, and the reality is, go for it, Jesse.
I was just going to say, that should help, if, we saw something where the price shot way up because of bots. Well, then as they're selling off, it is going to fund the treasury. So it's like you do at least get a benefit from that happening. But usually that's where the problem is like you have bots come in, front run, or you just have a ton of hype around a project. It goes way up it goes too high too quick, and then it crashes down lower. And so they have put a lot of emphasis on a sustainable launch. That doesn't mean they'll be able to execute, because nobody really knows what's going to happen. But they have put a lot of effort into studying how all these other projects are launching, what went wrong, and how they could do better.
Actually, another thing to point out is like we decided today actually. So whoever holds for like 3 weeks from launch will be receiving bound airdrops. They'll qualify for airdrops, whoever will hold and not sell from the 3 weeks from launch. And also furthermore, like you said, like people will be selling, people will be buying and then selling and dumping and stuff like that. So we'll be funding our treasury basically. So the idea is the first set of stable coins that was caused during this month of selling will be rewarded to these long-term holders. We will actually distribute this basically profits for them in stables or other paired tokens to long-term holders who actually did not sell. So the people who sell will actually be paying these people back. So yeah, that's one thing we could point out. We're gonna help support the long-term holders, basically.
Matt, what was your question?
The next question is from Steph.
I was saying what you were about to say something.
What I was going to say, I don't even remember. I think you guys probably. The next question was from Steph. You mentioned twice now that you're specifically not launching on the hype, or not focusing on the hype community before launch, that you're really trying to pay attention to people that are a little bit more committed to the project, because the hype community tends to bring in tons of numbers and then sell off right off launch. And so it's just a pump and dump. But are you planning on investing in marketing post-launch once your guys' launch takes off, you're a little bit more stable. Are you planning on investing in marketing at that point?
Yes, we'll be focusing more of our marketing efforts during post-launch instead of actually pre-launch. Because our take on that, is basically why market so much when we have nothing to prove yet. That's basically our mentality.
Yeah, and I know you did. I remember when I was looking at like the things you've already spent money on. Your KYC was in there. I think that cost you guys $20K or something. And you did have something for marketing in there for it was like Russia or something. Have you done any marketing that you've done specifically so far?
We actually tried. We tried to do a few YouTube videos. Yeah, the Russia thing, it was about a YouTube video. And I think we did some Telegram shilling. And basically, we found out that marketing like that does not work. It doesn't bring in the investors in the community we want. So after our first AMA with DAO Kings, we had a huge influx of people coming in, and we realized, okay, AMAs are better, but then we also have to pay attention in the kind of community we're talking to, because we don't want people coming in. Oh, there's another DAO, we should pump and dump it. So yeah, marketing efforts will be will be way more during post-launch than pre-launch.
And let me just add to that the best marketing on the planet is the price of the asset going up and to the right. If that's on that chart, then you're going to see that project grow, because that is what 99% of people are looking at. They are looking for a project that's going up. And so if they have a stable, smooth launch and they have slow, consistent gains, then over time, that chart going up and to the right will attract more people to the project. And that's what's been a lot of their focus. And I think this hasn't been mentioned. I wanted to throw out there also that you guys are KYC'd.
Yep.
Right? Yep. And that basically what that means is their government documents. You can go to their website. You can click on the link. You can verify it's on RugDoc. But their government documents are held on file with a third party, so that although they're anonymous, if they were to ever rug, those would get released to the public. So it's like a form of accountability where they can remain anonymous, but also you can have that trust that they're not going to rug people. Otherwise, they will get caught for that.
Basically our documents will release to everyone if we do that. So yeah, it's a form of security as well for the people.
And your KYC, people are asking, it was about $20K of your
20,000. Right? Yeah, I know. I mean, I think everyone will be surprised with the price. I was shook because this is my first time doing a KYC. So I approached them and I was like, so how much is your services? They're like, okay, it's 5,000 per person. I was like, huh? So it's around 15,000 for like 3 of us in the core team. But then they was like, if you pay 20K, we'll have a boosting package and they'll help promote it before our public launch or something. So we were like, why not? Let's do that. Their website's actually around the doc. I can pass it to you.
And do one of either Eagles or Hugh, do one of you guys want to paste your website in here too so people can check you out?
Sure.
Steph, who asked that marketing question, said, well, you found the right people right here. We don't dump. Next question from Jaya, that Turbo Clips. He's been asking some of these other questions in there. How do you guys plan to protect your treasury?
How do we plan to protect our treasury? Well, one way we could protect our treasury, all our treasury and all our basic contracts will be multi-sig. So that's one way we can protect it as well. So not one individual can actually withdraw all the funds.
Awesome.
The backing treasury will be basically protected in a way because it's separated from our investments. So it's not going to be attacked by our basically ventures into other projects, basically. Because we're looking to actually invest and expand our Boundless ecosystem into other projects, going to launch pads. Actually, we had one idea that was brought up by the community by creating a little mini pad. So our basically Boundless investors can join in, because most of us can't actually go into a launch pad. We have to buy the launch pad tokens, and that's pretty expensive to be able to participate. So we were wondering, maybe our treasury can help give access to the launch pad, allow the Boundless investors to invest in. When we receive back the other project's tokens, we will be providing it to all the investors that participated. So actually, buybacks. Is buybacks going to automatic or manually? Buybacks, currently, I'm asking them to do it automatically, but I will double confirm with everyone later on for that.
Awesome. Yeah, great answer. Turbo Clips, Jaya, who asked that, said, thank you, great answer. Dorbin, who just asked about buybacks, had another question a minute ago. Is there anywhere, so I know you guys were KYC'd. We just talked about that. Is there anywhere that we can read about your team's experience or anything like that? Is that on your website?
Not yet, actually, because like I was approached by DAO Kings as well to actually do that because it's good for the community as well. So yeah, we're preparing that and we will be putting that on the website as well.
Awesome. Steph asked another question. He said, does the Treasury have any specific plans on what you guys intend on investing in, or will it be more based on just what's happening in the market itself? Like, are you investing in stable coins? Are you investing in whatever's up and coming at that time? Do you have any plans for that specifically?
So the backing Treasury will be invested into DeFi protocols like, let's say, AutoFarm, Beefy Finance, so they can be staked for a stable APY by yield farming, basically. So that's how the backing Treasury will be invested. The investment Treasury, we're looking into launchpads, early stage projects. Let's say a community has found a project they want us to take a look at it. We go and we'll do an AMA with that project together on our community. If we like the project, we can discuss the terms and what they will provide us in return for a certain set of investment. So yeah, we will take community proposals from people, but yeah, we will be looking into other projects, other cryptos, and yeah, basically we are going to look into other projects. That's one summary.
Awesome. Gassig Watton asked, so I think you've answered, well, maybe you have. I've shared this document to some people in here about like what this specific, and we just answered that via chat, what the whitelist price is going to be and the way that you're splitting that up with 50,000 50,000 bound divided by the number of whitelisters. Do you have, but as far as the pre-sale goes, do you have the price of the pre-sale and how much is max allocated set aside yet?
Yep. So the whitelist pre-sale will be $4.80 per bound. And how is it distributed? So the best example I can give you is, let's say if we're offering you 10 coins and there's only 5 people participating. These 5 people will be equally distributed with 2 coins for 24 hours. Then your cap will double after these 24 hours. Then after 36 hours, your cap will triple. So basically, because not everybody's going to finish and fill up their cap, therefore, we're going to allow people to buy, all the whitelists will be able to buy their share equally and not miss out for 24 hours. Then whoever who didn't buy their share fully, other people who want to buy more, they can take their share after 24 hours, basically.
Awesome. Yeah, I like that style. Someone else asked, why not audit before the whitelist? Is that just because of the cost of the audit? Is there any other reason why you're waiting to audit later?
Yeah, so we actually did the peer review was actually for before the whitelist pre-sale, so they can check the code. But we can't do the audit before the pre-sales because, just to be transparent with you all, Paladin got back to me the quotation. Guys, it's 100,000. It's 100,000 to actually audit the protocol itself.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yep.
Have you looked at? Yeah, that's ridiculous. Have you looked at Solidity and their audit prices? Someone was saying that they audited Titano and it was like a 10th of that price or something.
Because we're actually focusing on the reputation of the audit team. So okay. Paladin is known, because like we have people like Certic who has been included in a few projects that actually rugged. So we didn't go with Certic, but Certic costs around like 40K. But Paladin has a really strong reputation for reviewing code, and it's actually quite well known for they're really good at reading and giving all the problems and issues coming up. So we are basically investing more into a more reputable audit team, just like we did with KYC, because Assure DeFi has it more like cheaper, but then they're not really that reputable. So that's why we went with Rockdock as well.
Yeah, awesome answer. We definitely really respect the idea of going for reputation first, even if it costs a little bit more. Sometimes you get what you pay for.
Yep,
Louise
exactly.
asked, how will stables and other crypto be distributed, and how will you determine who is a long-term holder of Bound?
All right, this is nothing final, but this is what we had in mind. So how the stables and other cryptos be distributed from the investment treasuries to long-term holders? How this is the current idea. Nothing's final yet. I will update you guys. But we were thinking a user have to hold a certain amount of bound, and also they have to hold for at least 1 to 2 months without selling. You can add on and stake more, but you can't sell. So from this, we would know that you are able to be classified as actually a long-term investor, and you can start earning in stables and other crypto assets, which you can sell, but you just can't sell your bound, because bound is probably like, let's say it's a share in the company, and we're giving you dividends for you to like enjoy and spend. So you don't have to sell for profits, but we will give you stables basically.
So with your certain amount, Luis asked that initial question, he's following up. With the certain amount that you referenced, is that going to lock out holders who are only holding a really small amount of BNB as far as what they're earning?
We're actually that was one thing. That's why I didn't say it's final, because we're actually looking into NFTs as well. So like if you hold a NFT, you can classify for this area. So we're trying to give it to trying to classify these members. I mean these NFTs as certain members. Let's say whoever who's very. We're not gonna put this NFTs like for everyone to buy, but we'll be selecting like a few committed members in the community. Okay, you can buy the NFT and you can partake in this airdrops, which is rewarded in stables because you are very committed to the project. So basically, we don't want to actually reward whales a lot, and we're trying to find ways to actually reward the small and medium investors as well. Oh,
awesome. Yeah, I appreciate that. Sonber asked, what is the planned APY if you start yield farming? I think back in the beginning you mentioned potentially yield farming. That was something you guys were looking at potentially doing. Do you have any idea what your planned APY would be?
Currently not for yield farming, but I'll update people more about it when we have come to a solid answer.
Sweet. Matorius asked, are there any projects you've partnered with? I think this goes back to the same conversation that you mentioned about partnering with other projects eventually. Are there any that you've partnered with that you're allowed to unveil so far, or is that still all behind the scenes?
So basically right now we had a deal with Chainlink to integrate some of their data feeds on us. So we are working with Chainlink for having their code and APIs on our protocol. Another one that was in talks is a metaverse project called Harmony World. They're basically trying to build a metaverse project based on like a Roblox or Minecraft kind of mechanic. So we have talks about them after our whitelist pre-sale that we'll invest in them. In return, we'll get land, and we can use our NFTs that we provide to the community as characters in their game as well. So that's one good one as well. I have a scheduled meeting with Auto Farm, the yield farming people, next week. So we want to find a place to settle our backing treasury as well.
Sweet. Leah Corno asked, sorry, are there any world problems that you guys are solving that no other teams in the crypto space are addressing?
World problems as in real life? I guess it's real life.
Yeah, I guess I'm not totally sure. Maybe a lot of these projects are like very like Diatom is all about solving a real life problem. Some projects are maybe not even real life, but just about like what do you say? Like, are you doing anything in the market that nobody else in the market is doing? Anything like that as well?
Well, currently, actually, we're also looking into, like I said, I think I said it before. I mentioned it really briefly. I also did mention about charity stuff. So I'm planning to actually segregate a bit of the investment treasury profits to go to charity, or any, like we're gonna also provide like NFT collections that can go to charity. So we will raise money for charity as well. But I think mostly what we're trying to solve the problem is actually like most people are investing in these own forks on DAOs. They're earning native tokens. Like, it's, to be honest, I have to tell you guys, there's no utility in that. So right now we're trying to find a way to find this utility and also reward people in other forms of tokens. Because like, imagine you buy our token and you can receive BNB, or you can receive an early project token just because we helped you invest through a launchpad. So we're trying to help solve those problems.
I think what the answer would be, summed up, would be they're trying to build a better network of value. A lot of the blockchain industry is about building these like networks of value that are able to transfer value from one person to another, or able to transfer value from one place to another. And so it's kind of like what's being built out in the blockchain space. And they're trying to build a more efficient network of value than what's been built out previously in the past. And that would reward those who invest into that network early on. That as that network scales and grows, the income for those people would scale and grow with it.
Yep, basically that. Yeah. I get lost in thought sometimes.
No, you're good. You're good. We appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm so sorry because like sometimes like all these ideas are into me that like just keep going. It just comes out.
No, you're good. We value that. At least you're, as Louis said, at least you're not just Wonderland solving jobless criminals problems in the world.
Exactly.
Franco asked, could you elaborate on how your backing per bound works? For example, will it trail the market price in a period of contraction, where it will decrease as the market price decreases? Thank you.
So our backing per bound actually follows from our backing treasury. So basically, the number of circulating supply, it will just be divided by the amount of funds that's inside the backing treasury, and that's how we back the token.
Awesome. Steph mentioned, you were talking a second ago, like 2 questions ago, about projects that you're partnering with. Are those projects KYC'd and audited as well, like you guys are?
We'll be looking to partner with projects that are KYC and audited, and if they are still early stage, we are willing to actually help fund this process for them, because it's actually an expensive process to go through. So I totally understand if they haven't done it yet.
Ken is writing down a couple questions. I'm waiting for his.
Okay, no worries.
I think we're caught up.
He's a little bit busy right now, but as soon as he's...
I can tell.
Yeah, Ken is a developer also, and so he was working with a client today during these meetings, but he's still trying to be here.
I see. I mean, if you guys have any development questions, the devs are up here, so that you can just ask them as well.
Right, so you're Mr. Front End founder, and then Hugh and Eagles are both 2 of your back end developers. Cool. Yeah, any questions for the developers, you guys? Got some memes happening in the comments. I'm just waiting for Ken to ask that question.
That's why I was saying he's pretty busy right now. It might take...
As Ken is typing. Come on, Ken. Just ask the first one, bro. One at a time, baby. He said he has a few down, and he's writing them all down 1 sec. Well, he didn't say sec if you check the comments.
Yeah, of course.
No, Ken, we have kids here. Steph, I feel like if we do have kids here, it probably originated from what Ken said. Ken asked, what is specifically your company's purpose? And you can reiterate, I think, what you just...
I think I'll say a more summary, so it's more straightforward. Yep. Yeah. So I think the company purpose is actually to become like a capital fund, funding other projects, investing and gaining profits or support people, and also building our own ecosystem in crypto products. We're not gonna stay as an own fork. We are planning to actually go into a DEX, yield farms. We also actually are discussing for financial services such as wallets. So we are looking into other projects that actually is useful for in the crypto space. The solution better than other VC DAOs type project. What sets us apart? What sets us apart, actually, if you think about it, most of these projects have their investment fund coming from their backing treasury, which is 10%. Magnet DAO has their 10% from backing treasury. Jade, I think, also did 10% from their backing treasury. We're separating that fully, so the backing treasury is untouched at all. Investment treasury will be the only thing that's gonna be been put into investment. Why now? Why was this project not built by another team? A specific one.
Well, I think I could add to that. So as far as what we kind of talked about in our earlier meeting was that you guys got to understand that when you're investing into projects, like somebody in the space at some point is going to succeed as a pretty awesome venture capital fund project, right? Like it's just going to happen because it makes a lot of sense. That's traditional finance being upgraded in the crypto space. We don't know, and even this team doesn't know. Will they be the ones that succeed or fail? I don't know. They're going to give it their best shot. They're trying to make the smartest moves possible. They may fail or may succeed. Let's see what happens. But eventually somebody will build that. So you're more looking at this team and you're saying, based on their vision, based on how they're doing things, do you think it might be possible they happen to be one of the teams that succeeds at that, right? That they happen to be one of those funds that ends up being successful and it ends up being a huge, ROI, return on your investment. And so they might not. Maybe they end up failing or maybe they don't. But they seem to so far have made some pretty smart choices. And the hope would be in the future as things go, they're able to navigate that well. And with everything, there's always a little bit of luck involved as well. So it's about diversifying your investments and saying this might be a winner, it might not be. Maybe it's that 0.5% that brings in 90% of your profits. Maybe it's one that does okay. We can't fully know that, but we do know at some point there are going to be more and more of these crypto funds because it just makes the system simpler. People want things constantly simpler. And that one way to simplify is to invest in a fund rather than invest in all of the individual crypto assets on your own. And a lot of people don't want to learn how to yield farm. So investing in a fund that's investing in assets, they're doing the yield farming. They're trying to bring in revenue sources. That's how lazy people are able to make that money. And people tend to lean towards being lazier if they can get away with it.
Yeah, and I'll add to that too. The reality is, one of the OG wise men of the world that died thousands of years ago, this dude named Solomon, said one time that there is nothing new under the sun. There will never be anything new. The reality is everything that we're attempting probably was tried by someone smaller at one point, and we're just trying to do it better. And it's the same concept with even with what we're doing in the Obsidian Council. Do you think we're going to be the only group in a Discord channel that decides to do what we're doing? Maybe not. Can we be the best? We're going to try our freaking best to be the best. And so what we're doing when we look at guys like Boundless and guys like Shadow, and we're just seeing, are they going to be able to do, based on who they are, based on this team, based on their vision, can they do this better than someone else maybe tried and failed and we never even heard about them a year ago? Are they going to do it better than the guy a year in the future? We don't really know. Your job as an investor is really to judge that. And these are good questions. And so I think that's what you're actually doing. But I just want to remind you guys that that's essentially your job. It's rare that you're going to see someone step into the ring with something that has never even been conceived before. We're just trying to see, are they doing it better than someone else attempted it before?
And I'm going to add even one more thing to that. And that's that in the early days of the internet, a lot of people don't remember this, but Google was like the 30th search engine out there. And the people that were investing early in Google, like what problem were they solving right then? Not a lot of people could grasp that or understand what they were doing. And at being 30th, not a lot of people knew if they'd be successful or not. You couldn't have known it at that point. It'd been impossible. So ideally, if you'd have been around at that time investing, you'd have been investing in Google and maybe a handful of other companies. You didn't know which one would succeed, but it didn't matter. If you'd had money in Google at that time and you still had that money today, you'd have made a fortune, okay? You'd have been set for life. And so that's kind of what we're looking to do when we're investing into things is maybe it's this one, maybe it's not. We're not fully sure how it's going to all pan out. We're looking at the team, and we're looking at it's good that everyone's asking, does it solve a problem? We're looking at the problem it solves, and we're looking at the tokenomics because we kind of know what is working and what isn't working, and we're looking at the launch plan.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. Another question from Dorban. Do you guys have any previous experience running a VC, or is this your first experience with that?
No, I have a background in finance and accounting, so I do have I have a background in finance, especially not specifically a VC, but I have run other projects before. I'm running a few projects actually in real life myself. So yeah, I'm not new to any managing of funds before. I do have experience in running those kind of funds, and also one of our dev, Hugh, as well, has worked in traditional finance before, so he actually knows what to do in the back end side of things.
Awesome. Ken had another question. How will your team make money? What is your incentive to push through if everything hits the fan, other than quote unquote for the benefit of the holders?
So how does our team make money? Well, basically, through the development area funding, we'll be taking a bit of it because we have to fund ourselves for our daily lives to keep working on this project. And furthermore, the development and marketing fund will expand the whole team. So we want to get more investors in, designers in, basically things to actually help us on the product kind of side. So yeah, we'll be mostly taking from that, and through the bonding process, we're gonna take a bit of the minted tokens for ourselves. I think I think a lot of people are not aware of this. Is that, let's say if you bond for 1 ohm, the protocol actually mints 2 tokens, gives you one, and one goes directly to their treasury, and this treasury of theirs is the protocol's treasury, which they liquidated all, and the devs take it for themselves. But Boundless is not doing this. We're actually taking only 20%, not 100% of the full minted token. So we're only going to take 20% straight for the team.
Sweet.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, that does. And then Ken's last question before he has to get back to developing whatever app he's developing this time. He said, lastly, are there any funds to fall back on to continue building in case the whitelist itself doesn't raise enough money for you guys?
Exactly. Our seed funding actually still has around 17,000, if I'm correct. So if we're short by a bit, we will use those funds to actually fund if we don't manage to sell out.
Awesome. And then Franco asked, and Franco's another developer. We got so many in here. Curious how you guys will manage the risk of your backing treasury when it is invested. This is from the docs. Use the funds in the backing treasury are only use of the funds in the backing treasury are only used in safe staking protocols to grow with a safe and stable APR. Is there a chance those safe yielding investments can still lose value and then your underlying treasury and thus your backing price would suffer as a result?
Yeah, we have actually explored that area. I've been discussing all the risk involved with yield farming. As for what I know is, if you actually yield farm with stable coins, with another stable coin, it's pretty safe because they're always 1-to-1 for the US dollar. So I think everything we do will actually have a risk, but we're trying to choose the most safest path for the backing treasury right now. Because if we don't actually put the money into something and grow a stable APR, it'll be just left sitting there. Imagine having $1 million set aside when it could be earning interest every time.
Right. And if you just have $1 million sitting there, it's going to lose its value the second
inflation basically. Inflation too, yeah.
Awesome. You guys these are great questions, you guys. True risk versus reward. Makes sense. Any other questions, you guys? That was a great rapid fire round there. I want to say shout out. I really appreciate you guys diving into answering some of these. Some of our members ask some fantastic questions, and I know they're not always the easiest questions, but that's why.
Okay.
I mean, when Steph was mentioning earlier that we as a community really believe in and propping up successful projects, and we really want to find high quality projects that we can invest in long term and not pump and dump. And so that tends to mean real hard questions so that these guys know, is this worth throwing my money in? Can actually ask one last question. What is the runway you guys will have based on the money you were trying to raise? How long could that money last you if you hypothetically won't have enough to sustain progress from profits?
I'm guessing it's how long we can last.
So, yeah, how long you can last if it doesn't
go. So right now we actually have a scenario being played out, right? We're looking at our tokenomics right now, playing out the scenarios and see how long we can last, because we have a few people from the Olympian side actually helping us in that area, planning, looking at scenarios and everything's what's going on for 6 months down the line. So we're trying to plan 6 months down the line for this. Nothing is confirmed, but when we have the scenarios all planned out and everything, I will be writing a Medium post. Everyone can read on what's the runway gonna be like and how does it work and why, and explain everything. So yeah, definitely. Right now, everything is gonna. We're just testing things out before we confirm the information towards others.
Right. And Ken said not just the protocol runway, but yeah, he was confirming what's your develop, marketing, etc. cost divided by the money you're raising, and that's what you intend on putting in the Medium article you were saying?
Yeah, definitely. But from the whitelist pre-sale, I think we're only gonna take around 30% for marketing and development. But the majority of it, I think around 65% of it is going to the tier 1 audit, because we're not actually raising a lot. Because the reason is at first when we wanted to do a whitelist pre-sale, everyone was saying, why don't you just raise for what you need? So that's the whole idea from it. So our seed funding, it helped us with our KYC, and it helped us with peer review. Our whitelist pre-sale will be done for actually our tier 1 audit. The public offering is the one that we have most of our tokens allocated to from our initial tokens.
Awesome. And Sonber asked, is it planned, do you guys have a plan to make a wrapped version for the staking?
It will be available at launch.
Awesome.
Yep.
Do you want to give, actually, we do have one. So we're basically seeding, not early pre-sale of public offering. You guys did have a pre-seeding round already, though, right?
Yeah, we already finished a pre-seeding round. It sold out pretty fast, 50,000 raised for our peer review and KYC. And the next one is a whitelist pre-sale. That funds will be actually put more into development, marketing, a bit more marketing actually. We're looking into doing another AMA with Cryptonaires if people are more familiar with them. So yeah, we're gonna look towards an AMA with them before our public offering. And yeah, I mean, we're gonna put more into development basically because we're gonna hire some more graphic designers to help design it.
And then
public offering, the public offering, the public offering will be for the Treasury basically.
Awesome. Yeah. And I was going to ask, if we've got any more questions coming in here, how can our members that are listening to this, how can they get involved if they want to? What does that look like for them?
Yeah, so what we want to do is actually build a more interactive community. I mean, as I see here, you guys are pretty close as a community yourselves. So yeah, that's what we're trying to develop at Boundless. Right now, most of the community team are like that. We are all close together. We have like Notion set up. We have a lot of like project management apps like we are working on together. They're helping me proofread. They're giving me ideas and stuff. So as a community, I mean, if you guys are interested in helping us out, we do accept more community team members, have more inputs, because more inputs, more tough questions. Like Matt was saying, you guys asked a lot of tough questions, but these tough questions actually improve us because we can think on a different kind of way, because not everyone will have the same questions in their head, so we can address, problem solve together. So yeah, we're hoping to build a community to actually build a DAO up as a real DAO and more involvement with the community.
And you actually, I mean, you essentially told us that when Jesse and I first connected with you in that phone call, you did mention that, like, hey, if you have anyone that wants to get directly involved, they can join our community team. We would love those ideas. And you've even where you guys are at now from where you were, you've evolved a little bit as well. And it's clear that's just from this community involvement and that you guys are listening and involving on that. So I really respect that. Notorious asked, after Treasury launch, when will it be live?
Okay. After we have successfully finished our public offering, we'll be putting it into our LP and putting it into our Treasury. Right after that, probably let's say a day or two after that, we'll be straight away launched. And staking, bonding will be available on launch. Wrapped bound will be at launch as well. So you guys don't have to worry about that.
Awesome. And then Ken with another question. He is our question connoisseur. Where is the team's focus right now? Is everyone on this full-time? Is everyone on a salary with a long-term commitment? Or are you outsourcing some of that effort?
Currently, we have not taken any money out personally for ourselves. From the seed funding, we have not taken any money out personally. It has been used fully. We have a seed expenditure tab where we say how much we spent and how much we took out. So those money is used for the project right now. I am full time on this right now, alongside with another project that I'm discussing in real life. But I have a lot of time for this project, and the devs are also on this full time.
Do you guys have? So you said right now you haven't taken. This is a question of mine. You said right now you haven't taken any money out from the seed fund. Do you guys have a specified plan for like what that salary looks like post launch for you guys as you are working at full time? Is there any like specified plan on what that looks like?
We're looking at it more passively. Like I said, we'll be taking 20% of extra minted bounds for ourselves. So we're looking to earn from there around 20% of it instead of 100%, like how most ohm forks does. We're taking 20%.
Cool. Well, guys, if there is no more questions, I just wanted to say thank you to Shadow, Eagles, and Hugh. We appreciate you guys. And if you guys want to get involved with them, please jump into their Discord. After this, I will post a Discord invite in the general channel so that you guys can jump in there, check them out, get involved. If jumping into their community team is something that you are interested in, feel free to get into their Discord and talk to Shadow about that. I've said this a few times, and Jesse said it too. Our goal is anytime that we are connecting with a project, we really want to do everything we can to see those projects succeed long term, especially if any of us are investing our own money. The goal is not a pump and dump. The goal is to help you guys succeed long term so that we succeed long term. And it's this mutual benefit of our money that is invested increases in value when you guys are forever successful. And so we want to see you succeed so that we can succeed alongside you. If you guys want to get involved, jump in there. Other than that, we really appreciate you guys.
Yeah, this was awesome. Thanks, Shadow.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, no worries. And anytime, man, sharing more information. Actually, it's a good thing. It's a good thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, sweet. Actually, further expand on that. Actually, if anyone's interested in actually helping with education-wise, I think the community team we were thinking like we want to offer education to newer investors. We don't want people just throw in their money, like everyone says, do your own research. So if anyone want to help out, plan out like a program or something for us or with us, yeah, that would be great. We're looking to actually provide more education towards new investors.
Awesome. Yeah, great idea. And I know we have so many people in this community with really diverse backgrounds. A handful of the people that were asking you these questions are marketing specialists, are developers, whether that's web or crypto or app developers. So we've got a lot of experience in here. So if any of you guys want to get involved, definitely jump in with them. Awesome. And with that, do you have anything else to say, Jesse?
No, that was it.
Too much of everyone's time. We've been in here for an hour. I think this went really well. Really appreciate everyone that took the time to be here on your end and in the Obsidian Council's end.
And no worries. No worries. Our AMA is actually it goes pretty long. I think our last AMA was like 1 hour and 40 minutes. It was crazy.
Yeah.
The AMAs can go on for forever.
We feel like we could probably just go eternally if we didn't cut them off. We usually try to do around an hour, but we've had some that just bleed.
Yeah.
Awesome. Perfect. Well, we appreciate all of you. That was a great meeting.
Yeah, okay. Thanks a lot, Matt. Thanks a lot, Jesse.